Sabes que me vas a echar de menos, que luego te arrepentirás. Entonces, ¿por qué me abandonas?
Este verano no abandones tu inglés y es por eso que queremos ponértelo muy fácil, ofreciéndote grandes descuentos en los cursos y programas con el método Vaughan que más demanda tienen en verano. Entra en grupovaughan.com o llama al 911-335831.
Campamentos de inglés sin salir de España. Tus hijos hablarán inglés divirtiéndose, siempre acompañados de nuestros monitores Vaughan. Realizarán talleres, actividades, veladas nocturnas y todo ello en inglés. 91 133 5832.
Este fin de semana, ven a bailar los éxitos del momento.
One kiss is all it takes, falling in love with me, possibilities, I look like all you need. One kiss is all it takes, falling in love with me, possibilities, I look like all you need.
El mejor ambiente en Áncora, Madrid. A partir de la medianoche, tu punto de encuentro se llama Áncora Madrid. Áncora Madrid, calle Trafalgar 6. Entrada gratuita mencionando Lista Vaughan.
Los cursos intensivos de verano de Vaughan son diferentes a otros cursos intensivos de verano. En nuestros cursos intensivos de verano, nosotros no metemos entre 10 y 12 alumnos en cada clase. Nosotros tenemos un máximo de 6 alumnos por clase. En nuestros cursos intensivos de verano, no somos rígidos, somos flexibles. Puedes hacer un curso de 1, 2, 3 o 4 semanas, como tú decidas. En nuestros cursos intensivos de verano no somos teóricos, somos prácticos. En nuestros cursos intensivos de verano no damos lecciones, motivamos. En nuestros cursos intensivos de verano nuestros profesores no son los protagonistas de la clase, nuestros alumnos lo son. Los cursos intensivos de verano de Vaughan, porque somos diferentes.
Entra en grupovaughan.com.
Me encanta esa canción que tiene el estribillo.
Ah, ya sé cuál es. 'Cause if you liked it, then you should have put a ring on it. If you liked it, then you should have put a ring on it. Don't be mad once you see that he wanted it. If you liked it, then you should have put a ring on it.
Wow, your English is amazing. Where are you from?
Me? I'm from Vaughan Town.
Ven a Vaughan Town, el lugar donde vivirás una experiencia única que equivale a 500 horas de clase y mejorarás tu nivel de inglés. Atrévete a vivir en inglés y verás la diferencia. Infórmate en el 91-133-5833. Estás escuchando Vaughan Radio. Estás escuchando Vaughan Radio. Aquí comienza Inglés Online TVE.
Hello everybody. Welcome to the show. Here we are. Aquí estamos. Here we are. It's class number 110 today. Inglés Online TVE is the program. As I turn on my light, just give me one moment. Un momento. One moment. How about that? Does it look much better? Oh my gosh, Kyle, that looks fantastic. For our stream, and the reason I'm turning on the light is because you can join us online. Of course, I'm talking about Inglés Online TVE, and you can join us on YouTube. So today we're live on YouTube, and you can write in, you can participate, you can ask me any questions that you may have. And yes, if you have any questions, please feel free to write in at in the chat on YouTube, Inglés Online TVE, Inglés Online TVE. Okay, why don't we see? Well, we have a bunch of people writing in. Valentino says, "Hello, Kyle. How are you doing after that wonderful conversation?" Oh, good. Well, thank you. I'm glad he enjoyed. That was, of course, the program drive time program. It was a very nice conversation indeed. Good afternoon, Kyle, says Javier. He says, let there be light. Yes, absolutely. And, okay, we're going to go ahead, though, and get started with today's content. That's right, let's go ahead with today's beginner content.
Nivel básico.
All right, everybody, nivel básico. Yes, the beginner content. She likes chocolate very much. Very simple sentence. A ella le gusta el chocolate mucho. She likes chocolate very much. She likes chocolate a lot. But now, here, what I like to think about here is the pronunciation of the word chocolate. Chocolate. We don't say chocolate. We say chocolate. 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 Lit. Like yesterday, I lit a fire. To light. Every day I light. Yesterday, I lit. Light, lit. Light, lit. Chocolate. Chocolate. Forget the O. Very often with pronunciation, the key to English pronunciation very often is teaching your brain to forget. It's about unlearning very often, especially for Spanish people, because in Spanish, you have very specific rules for pronouncing, especially the vowels. And people tend to be very inflexible in terms of pronouncing things in different ways. So we have an O there, but you see the O, but you don't pronounce it. All right? Chocolate. We don't say chocolate, so chocolate. And this is true with a lot of things in English. Sometimes it's a question of unlearning the rules. It may sound strange, but it's a question of forgetting, not just forgetting, but sort of unlearning the rules. It's a question of letting go of some of the rules that you have learned. And as an adult, you go through a school system. You go through, you'll essentially learn how to learn. So sometimes what you have to do is unlearn. You have to let go of certain rules and say, okay, I'm going to be open-minded. And the word, no matter how it's written, tear and tear, romper papel, to tear the paper, to tear the paper. But also tear is lágrima, but it's T-E-A-R, tear, 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 tear. The pronunciation is different, but the spelling is the same. That's something that couldn't exist in Spanish. But in English, it's a question of the case and looking at the case. Okay, we're talking about a person is crying and we're not going to say a tear went down her cheek. We're going to say a tear went down her cheek. Okay? So it's a question of looking at the case and memorizing the pronunciation. So chocolate. We don't say chocolate, we say chocolate. Chocolate. Okay? She likes chocolate very much. A ella le gusta mucho el chocolate. She likes chocolate very much. And there's no need for the article. There's no need to say the chocolate. We're going to say she likes chocolate very much. She likes chocolate a lot. I would say that. She likes chocolate a lot. Okay. Very simple. Let's see one moment here. Let's check up. We have... what's the difference between sickness, illness, and ailment? Yes, Valentino asked that a couple times. Illness is more formal. Ailment is even more formal. They're all correct. They're all very similar. Sickness, illness, a rare illness, a rare sickness. Usually if something is rare, we would use the word illness, a rare illness, an ailment, a minor ailment. But ailment is more it's just degree of formality. Ailment being the most formal, illness being intermediate, and sickness being very day-to-day, colloquial, let's say. All right, let's push forward with today's intermediate content.
Nivel intermedio.
All right, everybody. Intermediate. I caught the train, but I didn't catch the same one as James. So to catch, coger el tren. This is one of the uses, one of the interesting uses of the verb to catch. Coger with to catch, a means of transportation. To catch the train, to catch a bus, to catch a taxi. So coger. So typically with transportation that is maybe public, or transportation that you have to hire, or transportation that you have to stop while it's on a route, you would catch it. Other uses of the verb to catch. There are several different uses of the verb to catch. In fact, in my book I have a book called The Verb Circus, Los Verbos Esenciales del Inglés. And I talk about different uses of the verbs. And the verb to catch, for example, coger al vuelo, to catch something from the air, to catch something that is flying, right? To catch something that's flying. So that's one use. To catch transportation. Also to catch a cold, coger un resfriado, to catch a cold. How many colds do you catch every year? I catch 2 colds. Actually, I usually catch about 1 or 2 colds per year. Lately, I have not caught many colds. No he cogido muchos resfriados. I haven't caught many colds. Okay. Okay. So anyway, here, I caught the train, but I didn't catch the same one as James. No cogí el mismo que a James. I didn't catch the same one as James. Right? So catch, caught. I caught the train, but I didn't catch the same one as James. Okay, let's go ahead with today's advanced content.
Nivel avanzado.
Nivel avanzado. Has it been long since you've been round Mary's house? Now, this is very British. Been round. Been round. You could say been around too. Sometimes British people use the word round as a short version of around. It's round. It's round 5 o'clock. It's around 5 o'clock. It's approximately. But have you been round means have you passed by? ¿Has pasado por la casa de Mary? Have you been by Mary's house? Have you passed by Mary's house? Have you been round Mary's house? And our question, has it been long? Hace mucho que, has it been long? Has it been a long time since you've been round Mary's house? Has it been a long time since you've been round Mary's house? ¿Ha pasado mucho tiempo desde que has pasado por la casa de Mary? Or has it been a long time since you've passed by, since you've been round Mary's house? She's been asking for you, right? She has been asking, preguntando por ti. She is asking for you, or she has been asking for you. She has been asking. Has it been long since you've been round Mary's house? She's been asking for you. Está preguntando por ti. Lleva tiempo preguntando por ti. Está preguntando por ti desde hace tiempo. She has been asking for you for a while. So she has been. She has been asking for you. So to ask for someone, we have to ask and to ask for. Pedir is typically to ask for. Pedir una Coca-Cola. Ask for a Coca-Cola. Preguntar, to ask a question, to ask someone a question, for example. Okay? So has it been long since you've been around Mary's house? She's been asking for you. So if she's asking for you, it means that she's asking, it's kind of like saying asking about you. Where is he? Where's John? Oh, she's asking for John. She's asking about John. Either way, it's pretty similar. Has it been long since you've been around Mary's house? She's been asking for you. Okay. Those are our sentences today. That's our advanced sentence. And we do have some people writing in our chat today. Let's see. We have Valentina says she is shedding a tear as her resume is being torn apart. Yes, is being torn apart. The goalkeeper cut the angle down and managed to catch the ball. That must be tough, he says. Okay. I heard a native English speaker ask, is your mother still around? Meaning, is she still, yes. Is she still around? Absolutely. She's still around, like sigue por aquí. But it could be around this area. Like if I live in Madrid, but I know a lot of foreign speakers. I know a lot of foreigners, a lot of native English speakers. And I could say, what about John? Remember John from Manchester? Is he still around? It's like saying, sigue por aquí. Is he still here? Is he still around? Is he still around? Sigue por aquí. Is John still around? Okay. So there you go. Yeah, thank you for your question, Valentino. All right, we're going to do a little bit of translation because I think it's better. I think we have kind of exhausted the. I think we've exhausted the sentences today. It was fairly basic, the sentences today, in our class number 110 of this course, Inglés Online TVE. So we're going to do a few exercises. How about this? Let's try some phrasal verbs. Here we go. Te respaldaré. Think about that. ¿Cómo se dice en inglés? Te respaldaré. Te respaldaré. This is, I will back you up. So this is a phrasal verb, to back up, respaldar a alguien. I'll back you up. Now, to back up can also be to back up a file, for example, for security, for safety, for security, to back up someone's files, to back up a document, to create a backup, right? An auxiliary. Okay, so the first phrasal verb, to back up, te respaldaré, I'll back you up. This is a separable phrasal verb, I'll back you up. I know that if I get into an argument, my brother is going to be there to help me. My brother will back me up. He will support me. He'll help me. He'll back me up. Te respaldaré. I'll back you up. Number 2, lo solucionaremos. Lo solucionaremos. There are a few ways you could say this. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. You could also say, we'll solve it. We'll work it out. Don't worry, we'll work it out. We'll solve it. Tengo muy poca información en que basarme. I have very little information to work on. I have very little information to work on. Muy poca información to work on. So, en basarme, what information are we working on? What news are we working on here? So to operate based on a certain premise, we can say to work on. Valentino has a question. He says, what about to buck up? That's not a very common phrasal verb. But to buck up, B-U-C-K, buck up is like to proceed despite challenges. Well, to say, okay, we have to buck. All right, I hate doing it. I want to stay home. I don't want to go to work to do the project. But you know what? I'm going to buck up. I'm going to do it regardless. Like to do something despite difficulties. But I would not recommend ever using that phrasal verb because it's very rare. And unless you use it in a perfect circumstance, it will sound out of place. So I would forget that phrasal verb, to buck, B-U-C-K, up. Valentino. Okay. Sus planes fracasaron. Their plans didn't work out. Fracasaron. Their plans didn't work out. Yeah. They failed. Fracasaron. They failed or they didn't work out. Here's a good one. La ONU significa Organización de Naciones Unidas. Significa. In English, la ONU, we say the UN. The UN. The UN stands for, significa. The UN stands for United Nations. United Nations. Now, significar. Here, this is a phrasal verb. Significar. To stand for. ¿Qué significa UCLA? What does UCLA stand for? So to stand for means significar, but in the sense of acronyms. What does it stand for? What does UCLA stand for? What does UFO stand for? Oh, UFO stands for Unidentified Flying Object. What does FBI stand for? FBI stands for Federal Bureau of Investigation. What does CIA stand for? CIA stands for the Central Intelligence Agency. Significa. When we're talking about acronyms, this is when we use stand for. What does it stand for? ¿Qué significa? Okay. All right, let's try another one. Destacas entre la gente de tu edad. Destacas. Destacar. This is to stand out. Ooh, another phrasal verb. Okay, to destacar. To stand out. To stand out. So, for example, Ronaldo stands out. Destaca. When he's playing football, he stands out. Okay? And we also have to highlight, que es como hacer destacar, to highlight something. So you have a highlighter. In fact, I have one here in my hand. If you're watching on it even says on it highlighter on YouTube. You can see I have a highlighter in my hand. It's for highlighting, which is to make certain information stand out. To make some information stand out. Okay, so we've seen a few different phrasal verbs here. Let's review. Te respaldaré. I'll back you up. Te respaldaré. I'll back you up. To back up. Respaldar a alguien, to back something up. And also, to back up can be like a file, to create an auxiliary file, for example. Okay? To back up the files. Lo solucionaremos. We'll work it out. We'll solve it. We'll work it out. Number 3, tengo muy poca información en que basarme. I have very little information to work on. I have very little information to work on. Okay. Sus planes fracasaron. No, they didn't. They failed, or they didn't work out. Fracasaron. They didn't work out. La ONU significa Organización de Naciones Unidas. ¿Cómo era? What's the phrasal verb? The UN stands for. Significa. Stands for. The UN stands for United Nations. Okay? Destacas entre la gente de tu edad. You stand out. So destacar, to stand out. Significar, stand for. Here's another one. Let's do 2 more. ¿Qué has averiguado? ¿Qué has averiguado? What did you... And here we normally use the past. Aunque pone ¿qué has averiguado? We use the past. Como ¿qué averiguaste? Right? But what did you? What did you averiguar? Find out. What did you find out? What did you find out? Usamos el pasado. What did you find out? Okay. Okay, so averiguar, to find out an answer, for example, to find out some information. Finally, the last one. No rompas esa foto. No rompas esa foto. Romper, now, romper papel is like this. Romper papel. To tear. Now, break, I could break, like if I drop my phone breaks, or it might break. Romper. But, so something gets broken, but to tear is like with paper, right? To tear paper, or to break electronics, to break a phone, to break something. So, but here, no rompas esa foto. Don't tear up that photo. To tear up. So here we have an interesting phrasal verb, to tear up, to destroy by tearing. I'm tearing it up. Can you hear that? I'm tearing up a piece of paper. Romper papel, to tear up. But to tear it up with the purpose of destroying it. I could also take a pair of scissors and I could cut it up. Cortarlo. I could cut it up. I could destroy it by cutting with scissors. I could cut up the paper. I could tear up the paper. But we have another phrasal verb, which is to tear out, which is to separate by tearing. So maybe I have a photo. I'm looking at a magazine and I see a photo that I want to keep. And so I tear it out of the magazine. I tear out the photo. I tear out the image. Right? So to tear it out. Or I could cut it, the same, cut out the image. So it's very often the preposition that is very important here, right? So to tear it out or to cut it out means to remove it, to preserve by tearing or cutting out, right? So we use the preposition out. But up indicates destruction. Tear it up into a million pieces. Cut it up into many pieces. Okay? Okay, so there you go. Valentino says, what about crack, smash with a building? So to crack it up, smash it up. Sure, tear down the wall. Exactly, tear down that wall. Exactly. That's right. So very often, and I encourage you when you're studying phrasal verbs to study the preposition and try to group them according to preposition. And you can find some logic that helps unlock several prepositions. So you think up, tear up, smash up, break up, rip up, cut up. In all these cases, the up implies destruction, breaking something down into many little pieces, right? So that will help you learn phrasal verbs, okay? Now, we're just about out of time, but I just want to remind you, on Sunday, that's right, this Sunday, the 10th of June, I'm going to be in the Madrid Book Fair, the Feria del Libro de Madrid, from 12 until 3. Stand number 165, caseta 165. I hope to see you there. Come on out, say hello. It'd be great to see you this Saturday in Madrid, the Retiro Park in Madrid. If you're in town, come by and say hello. It'd be nice to see you. I'm out of time, everybody. I want to thank you for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.